Marcell Ozuna is a two-time All-Star, a Gold Glove winner, and has won the Silver Slugger twice. He had a 40-homer, 100 RBI season in 2023, and has finished as high as 6th in MVP voting. However, none of these things are what Marcell Ozuna is known for the most. So today, we're going to go through the arrest history of Marcell Ozuna. First, let's start off with everybody's favorite crime to talk about: domestic violence. In June 5th of 2020, Marcell Ozuna's wife, Genesis, was arrested for domestic violence. You might be wondering what in the world she did. Well, she hit her husband with a soap dish and left a cut on his face. Don't know exactly the reason why, but it's okay because Marcell Ozuna didn't seem to mind very much. Shortly after this incident, he posted a picture of some jewelry that professed his love to her.
You know, it may seem weird that Marcell Ozuna would still post something like that after his wife, hit him. But then I saw a picture and videos of Marcell Ozuna's wife, and yeah, she could hit me with a soap dish anytime. She could also sit on my face.
I made a comment earlier tonight that I guess went over the air that I am deeply ashamed of. If I have hurt any Latino women, I am deeply sorry from the bottom of my heart. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive into deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run, and that will make it a 4-0 ball game. Okay, now that I'm done making jokes and stuff, let me stop with that. The same season when this was going on, Ozuna would end the year leading the National League in home runs and RBIs. So as of 2020, Ozuna was seen as a pretty good baseball player who maybe just had a peculiar life outside of baseball. Who among us? He's human, just a little eccentric. And you're allowed to have a peculiar life outside of baseball when you're coming off one of the best seasons that you have ever had. However, this next domestic violence case involving Ozuna paints him in a much different light. On May 29th of 2021, Ozuna would be seen choking his wife and throwing her against a wall. After this incident, Ozuna would not play another game during the 2021 season. Now, thankfully for us, we are done talking about domestic violence. Now we get to talk about drunk driving. Just a great topic for everybody. On August 19th of 2022, Ozuna would be caught going 90 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone, which he had places to be, I guess. This would lead to him getting pulled over by a cop, and this is the arrest that produced the infamous "I'm Ozuna from the Braves" line.
Norcross Police.
Yeah. I'm Ozuna from the Braves. Sorry, my dog.
It's all right.
If you didn't know, yes, that is an actual thing that Marcell Ozuna said while showing the police officer his MLB credentials. Marcell actually did pretty good in the field sobriety test, but once the cop brought out the breathalyzer, he just elected to be arrested and was booked for a DUI. Not only was this a rough situation off the field, Ozuna's play on the field wasn't great either, finishing the 2022 season batting .226, the lowest of his career when he plays 100 or more games, along with basically every other stat he had taking a hit. Now, do you want to know what he did the very next season after this? 40 home runs, 100 RBIs, while batting .274 with a .345 on-base percentage and a .905 OPS in 144 games. That right there is the tragedy of Marcell Ozuna. In seasons where Marcell Ozuna is involved with any kind of legal issues, he has 48 home runs, 138 RBIs, a .252 average, .320 on-base percentage, .485 slugging, and a .778 OPS in 232 games. The season average on that, just to kind of put it into perspective, because he has played way more games without legal issues than with, so the average kind of tells the home run and RBI story a little bit better. So it's 16 home runs per season and 46 RBIs per season. These numbers aren't terrible, but his numbers while not involved with legal issues are so much better. Not counting this season because it's just started, but still this season he has already 5 home runs. Ozuna has 188 home runs, 638 RBIs, a 273 average, a 337 on-base percentage, 506 slugging, and an 844 OPS in 1,075 games. The season averages on that are also 23.5 home runs per season with 79.7 RBIs per season. So when Marcell Ozuna is not involved in some kind of criminal activity, he is significantly better at baseball. I don't find it very surprising, but it's just kind of upsetting. Ozuna could be a perennial all-star, winning yearly awards and being given good publicity while playing on a team that has been competitive for the World Series for the better part of 5 years. He could not only be one of the best players in baseball, but also one of the most liked and entertaining players. But instead, we're here and we're talking about Marcell Ozuna committing crimes. In this timeline, we get the Marcell Ozuna who is still really good at baseball, but also has problems drinking and not committing spousal abuse. It just flat out sucks to see for everyone involved. I hope Ozuna gets help with his drinking, and I hope him and his wife have a good marriage and continue to have a good marriage. At age 33, he's still producing really well on the field. Just imagine how fondly we would remember his career if he never had to tell a police officer that he was Ozuna from the Braves. It's sad to see anyone become a what if, but Ozuna makes it really difficult to feel bad for him when he does some not so great stuff off the field. I'm a person who believes in second chances. As I've said before, I'm a Kyle Larson fan, and some of my favorite athletes are guys who needed second chances, sometimes even third or fourth chances. Guys like Ron Artest, Miguel Cabrera, Bob Probert, and Mason Gillis. So I don't think a guy should be condemned for life just because they made a mistake or two. We're all human, we all mess up. But when you put hands on your wife and you get busted for drinking and driving, it's difficult to say that you don't deserve to be punished. So again, while I do feel bad for how Ozuna could have had a much better career if he never did those things, he also still is playing baseball at a high level and has made almost $100 million during his career. So I can't say I feel too bad for the guy. I really hope this season and for the rest of his career and the rest of his life, he stays out of trouble and just focuses on baseball. Because when he doesn't do stupid stuff, he actually seems like a guy his teammates enjoy playing with. He seems like he could have one of the more likable personalities in baseball, but he makes it really difficult to root for him. I know this is different than the stuff that I normally make. I normally don't venture outside of my teams. Usually this is a video related to, teams that I like or the league as a whole. But I really wanted to make a video on this topic just because the idea popped in my head and it just kind of stuck there. So it's an interesting topic just to look at how good Marcell Ozuna can be, because it's like I'll see that he gets into criminal trouble and then a week later he's hit like 5 home runs in his past 5 games or something like that. Something stupid where he just goes on a crazy hot streak and you're just kind of sitting there, even as a guy that isn't a Braves fan, like I don't really care all too much about if the Braves do good or bad. You just kind of sit there, look at it and go, why in the world are you not just focusing on baseball? You could be so good if you just didn't get in legal troubles. But again, here we are. Anyways, I'm Limitless Pulls. I'll see you guys next week.
But you can mix right, nigga, put it in the blender. Hell yeah, I'm Wingstop. Jump on the chicken tender. It's like the beef with energy and water like timber. It's hurting, looking like dinner. It's like I got the bag, boy or girl. You can pick